Hey Internet, welcome to Worldview Everlasting, your favorite YouTube addiction, the No Window Behind My Head edition. Aren't you glad? Thank goodness my idiot head finally got that figured out. And some good news, we hope to have the studio set up. We have a time frame now. By the end of July, we're going to be good to go, and it will be no longer this pasty-faced, ruinous thing you got to watch just to get your fix every week. You're actually going to be back where you want to be with the gorgeous editing and stuff. Right? Because that's what matters. Or something. But meanwhile, we are in Mark chapter 5, and as the 3-year lectionary is wont to do, it is horribly skipping over a phenomenal text that we really should have right now after Jesus calms the storm, as he's headed across the water to the nations where he said he's going to go when the scribes and the Pharisees reject him. He's going across the water, he's silencing the strong man who's in charge of chaos and putting it all under his feet, and now he's going to go bind the strong man who attacks him as he gets off the boat, this Gerasene demoniac with a legion of demons inside of him who nobody is strong enough to contain. Oh wait, but Jesus is more than strong enough. So the guy doesn't even come to attack, he comes to plead. Don't torture me, don't torture me, don't torture me.
I see the light that burns.
If you want some symbolism in Mark's gospel, if you want, Jesus calms the storm, it's a metaphor for life. No, it's a metaphor for the church. If you're going to have it be that way, it's a metaphor for the church in the storms of chaos attacking truth. The metaphor for you, that be the Gerasene demoniac, the one who is tormented and in chains and shackles and cut and beat and living among the dead. That's what you do. You live among the dead. And here comes Jesus to set you free, put you in your right mind, and not really be bothered by any of your past problems, but instead to tell you that you are now his confessor of the faith. There's all sorts of other stuff going on in this text. For example, this is the first and really only miracle early in Mark's gospel that does not have Jesus saying, shh, don't tell anybody about it. Right? Wait a minute, I thought, shh. Every time Jesus did something, he says, don't tell anybody about this in Mark's gospel. It's the mark and secret.
That was a preemptive shh. Just know I have a whole bag of shh with your name on it.
Yeah, but now he's across the sea with the nations. No more secrets. He's here for the nations. Yeah? And on top of this, of course, back in Judea, he will eventually stop saying be quiet once he has said, look, the miracle I'm here to do is to die. I'm here to die. I'm here to die. I'm going to rise. And since what I say always happens, whether it be calming storms or kicking out demons, when I say I'm going to rise, I mean it, and I will, even if you don't ever see it, even if you only hear it said. Yeah, fascinating stuff, but we're skipping over all of that to get to the last part of Mark chapter 5. Very good as well, poignant set of stories, an intercalation, right? This is where you have two stories together. Outside is one story connected to itself, and then inside's another story, at the middle of which is the entire point. And you got a weird thing going on, because the outside story is the raising of Jairus' daughter, the resurrection of a human being from the dead by the demanding, commanding words of Jesus. And you would think that would be the thing at the heart of it all, wouldn't you? You would think, what else is he here to do but raise our bodies from the dead? Isn't that what our whole problem is? Death? And the answer is no. No, our problem is not death. Death is the wages for our problem, right? Death is the result of our problem. The thing he's here to fix is not death, but unbelief. And so at the heart of the middle story, you're going to have not resurrection, but salvation through faith alone. Now, you would think the Lutherans were, onto something here with this whole Bible teaches us faith alone stuff, and that the world would be like, yeah, that's what it says, but, whatever. But you have been given the secret, as Jesus says earlier, to the parables, to the kingdom. His word is here to create faith. So that's what it's going to do with the text for today of Jairus' daughter and the woman with the blood hemorrhage, the dying disease, stuck right in the middle, right? Ready? Here we go. When Jesus had crossed again to the other side, so coming back from Gerasa, after he does this amazing thing, he heals this man, everyone says, get out of here, Jesus, we don't want you. So even among the nations, he's being rejected. That's pretty key. But they go back across to the other side, and a great crowd gathers around him. He's beside the sea, and there comes to him a ruler of the synagogue. The synagogue were these organizations set up during the Babylonian exile for studying the Hebrew scriptures without a temple. Temple is restored, but the synagogue continues, and this is usually connected to the Pharisees. Pharisees as opposed to the Sadducees, who were more in the priesthood at the temple. But to be a ruler of the synagogue, this is no small thing. I mean, it's kind of like a pastor, but not really. It's not pastoral office at all, but he's got a lot of authority. He's got a lot of respect in the community. And this guy, whose name is Jairus, comes to see Jesus and falls at his feet. This is a dishonoring thing for himself. This is humiliation. This is him saying, look, I am underneath you. Pretty big deal for a ruler of a synagogue to be doing. He falls at his feet and he implores him earnestly. There's actually an interesting parallel going on here because the Gerasene demoniac had come at Jesus, fallen at his feet, and implored him earnestly, don't torture us. Well, it's the demons, right? Now here you have on the other side, you have a believer coming and falling at his feet and saying, have mercy on us. Big difference, right? He knows to whom he speaks. My little daughter, he says, is at the point of death. Come, lay your hand on her, that is, come be a miracle worker, that she may be made well and live. Now, I love the fact that we're such pious little people translating the Bible and always trying to make it make sense. It's good. We got to do that at some point. We have to have it make sense. But the thing is, the word there isn't the normal word for heal, be made well-ish stuff. It just isn't. There are words for that. That's not the word. The word is save. Come and save my daughter. Now, fine. That can mean heal, be well, but this saving word is sozo in the Greek. Is going to come back like all the way through this intercalation, at the heart of which is faith, and at the end of which is resurrection, and it's save, faith, resurrection. I mean, come on. You want to know about this, right? You want to know that's what's being said. Come and save my daughter. Now, does he mean heal her, make her well right now? Yeah, he does. But see, that's just it. The whole point of this narrative is going to be that salvation's a bigger deal than physical healing in the present. The thing that's going to save you is faith. We'll come back to that then in a moment. So Jesus goes with him. First part of intercalation over. Now there's going to be more in the middle. A great crowd is following him, and this is nice, thronged about him. Like he's getting pressed on, right? He can't escape it. And in Mark's gospel, at least, Jesus doesn't like this. Like, he's a little bit introverty, and he's like, okay, fine. That's why he wants to get on a boat to teach and stuff. The people press on him too much. But then there's like this other human side to it that we're going to see here as well, where the all-knowing, all-powerful God somehow doesn't know stuff as well. There was a woman who had a discharge of blood for 12 years. It's implied by the very technical language here that this is an ongoing chronic disease connected to probably womb, uterus, that kind of stuff. And it's something that is damaging, right? This isn't just menstrual stuff. This isn't like a one-time event. This is ongoing, and this is doubly bad because she's a Jew. And guess what makes you unclean if you are a woman and a Jew? What makes you unable to go near the temple sacrifices? Yeah, this kind of discharge, particularly. 12 years. Oh, interesting number 12 there. And had suffered much under many physicians and spent all that she had. It was no better, but rather grew worse, right? So she's trying to do everything she can. She is a woman of means. So now you also have a parallel of Jairus and this woman are both people of respect, honor, means, although in the midst of her honor, she is dishonored by this thing. She wouldn't have even been allowed in the crowd normally because of her uncleanness, which again is a theme in Mark's gospel. She had heard reports about Jesus, heard the word, believed it, and came up behind him in the crowd and touched his garment, for she said, this is to herself, if I touch his garment, I will be, English made well, Greek, saved. Yeah, I will be saved if I can get close enough to touch him, right? I believe what I have heard about this man, that he is new wineskins, as it were. He is someone from outside with actual authority. It would appear that he would be the Son of God. And if I can just get near enough to touch him, my salvation will come upon me, which she's a little narrow in her thinking about salvation, but she's also got the thing that salvation has to have. She believes who Jesus is. And I love this. Verse 29, immediately, that's Mark's word, it's always happened immediately, but really, I mean, just the miracle, the flow of blood dried up. She felt in her body that she was healed, and there's the actual healed word there, of her disease. Now you love this. Gotta love this. Verse 30. And Jesus, perceiving in himself that power had gone out from him. Right? So you got the Lord Almighty, God of all, is walking around the crowd, and he's just suddenly he shoots out God, miracle, healing, creative powerness. He's like, what just happened there? Yeah, I know what happened, but what just happened? That's crazy. Who did that? It's very human Jesus, right? And this is Mark's thing. Jesus is incredibly limited and incarnate, right? And he's stuck in his own flesh. So he knows, and based on the language, he knows a woman did it. He says, who did this? But it's a feminine, right? So he knows a woman did it, and chances are he knows, what's gone on, but he hasn't seen her face yet. And so there's this too, right? So I've healed you, but hey, hold on, I'm here to talk to you. I'm here to tell you stuff. You don't steal salvation from me. Let me give it to you. Who touched me? He looks around. The woman, Who touched my garments? There it is. And his disciples, there's a crowd. What are you talking about, Jesus? How can you? Everyone's touching you. Look, there's still people bumping into you. He's like, no. I did a miracle here, guys. I know you don't see it, but where is she? Who is she? The woman then, knowing what happened, comes in fear and trembling. Fear is always the result of Jesus' miracles in Mark's gospel. It's interesting. It's connected to faith, and yet it's also like connected to not understanding. She comes, she falls down before him, she tells him the whole truth, which is a legal phrase, by the way. You even would say that they swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. She tells the truth. She confesses her stealing of grace. I don't know, but he says to her, it's beautiful. This is it. This is the middle of the intercalation right here. Daughter, your faith has made you well. Oh, it's not just made well. Daughter, your faith has saved you. Yeah. Your faith which caused you to know that I am a God who gives. So you came up and just got near enough to me, knowing my holiness can't help but go out from me. That when I touch a leper, the cleanness goes the other way and he is healed. And so if you could get near enough to me, you would be healed. Well, yeah, that's right. So you believed it, and thus it is. Not because your faith made it happen, but because you had your faith in the right thing. And so go in peace. Notice the benediction here, right? Depart in peace and be saved of your disease, right? Implying that this is bigger than even just the blood issue going on within her, that she is to be saved of her sin, which is where this entire thing is going. Peace be upon you. I am God, he says. It's good stuff, all right? Now, rest of the story. While he was still speaking, there came from the ruler's house some who said to him, your daughter is dead. Why trouble the teacher any further? And they're doing this in public. It's like, hey, Jairus, Jesus is standing right there. Like, hey, Jairus, the girl's dead. Don't worry about it. Now, can you imagine how maybe this is even scribes and Pharisees connected to his household who don't want Jesus anywhere near this? Like there's some conflict going on here as well. No, it doesn't say that, but it's quite possible. They're being public though. I mean, how often do you go and publicly yell that someone's kid just died, right? So there's like some tension going on here. But overhearing what they said, Jesus then says to him, to the ruler of the synagogue, do not fear. Fear not. Let your fear be gone. Only believe. And there's this faith thing going on again, right? Well, believe what? Well, believe in me, right? You came to me because you said you knew who I was. So here, let me do it for you, right? And then he does something interesting. Now we're back to the secrecy thing, right? Well, okay, wait. I don't want anyone to think I'm just here for miracles. I don't want anyone to get the misunderstanding that I'm here for this life. And so I'm only going to take Peter and James and John and you, Jairus. We're going to go to your house. We're going to get this thing done. So they come to the house of the ruler of the synagogue, and Jesus sees a commotion of people weeping and wailing loudly. Very normal for a Middle Eastern funeral, that it would have been a sign of respect and action, that they would vocally be making everyone aware of the mourning and the grief within the house. And when they enter, though, I mean, he does something kind of weird. So there's this chaotic scene. It's like being on the water with the gods of chaos attacking the little ship. Here's a chaotic scene in this man's home, and Jesus walks in and he just says, what are you guys doing? What do you mean? What's happening here? Why are you making a commotion and weeping? The child is not dead, but sleeping. Now, is he trying to say the child's not actually dead? The child's dead. He's going to raise the child from the dead. But he is saying that death is not a problem. Not really. Not for God. Yeah, that this is for the Christian, for the one who is an Israelite, right? So even for the Jew waiting for the Messiah, death is to be akin to sleep. It is not the end. We don't mourn as those who have no hope. Now you'll notice a fascinating shift, though. They laugh at him. They laugh at him, and there is the implication they are mocking him. Right, that look, the madman Jesus has come. This guy who everyone knows is insane. Yeah, well, here he is, and he doesn't even think death is real. What a moron. What a fool. Why are you interrupting our mourning, right? Kind of classic unreasonable stubbornness of heart. But I can't really blame them. They're original sinners just like you and me. But you got to see that there. They are the seed upon the path. Right, that the devil comes and takes away his words right away. He comes and says, death ain't an issue. They're like, yes, it is. All right, well, you're rejecting Jesus. And as a result, you're not going to see the resurrection, which is what happens. He put them all outside, took the child's father and mother and those who were with him, Peter, James, and John, went into where the child was, taking her by the hand. Mark's delivery here, this is very beautiful literature. He's painting the picture of the home, because the language spoken in most Hebrew homes would have been Aramaic. He's taking it into the inner confines of the life of the Israelite. In New Testament times, he says, Talitha Kumi, little girl, child, beloved daughter, arise. And the word there, kumi, is connected to the Hebrew word for resurrection that's always about resurrection from the dead, and is also then going to be connected to the Greek words agere and anastasis, which are both also about resurrection from the dead, which is where the whole picture here is like going on. Your intercalation, faith alone, Jesus' words, resurrection from the dead. Big, big, awesome actual gospel of the Church of Jesus Christ. Little girl, I say to you, arise. And immediately, there it is, yeah, she got up and was walking. for she was about 12 years of age. And there's that word 12 again, right? 12 years of blood, 12 years of the age of the girl. And we're about to have a pericope with the 12 disciples being sent to cast out demons. What's going on here? Is the people of Israel, is the church of God, is Jesus coming to bring about his reign, and he does. And they were there overcome with amazement. This is this marveling word again that is all the way through as well, usually connected to fear. No one really knows what's going on. And here's the secret. He strictly charged them that no one should know this, but he told them to give her something to eat. Why the food? To demonstrate she wasn't a ghost, to demonstrate that this was real, right? This is physical and tangible. She was going to need to be fed for the rest of her life until she died as a maybe ripe old age kind of thing. But now, all right, putting all the pieces together. He has just come back from showing I can bind the strong man wherever I want, even when he resists me. And I will make disciples out of the least likely of places. And so then he finds the least likely of places, a ruler of the scribes, a ruler of the synagogue, a Jew among Jews, and a wealthy unclean woman, both of whom he goes and brings his salvation to. Through promises, right? Through faith, through the healing power of his word, but all hinting at where the gospel is finally going to get, which is the resurrection story that we never get to see in Mark's gospel, at least as my understanding of where the text actually ends. We can debate that, but you never actually get to see it, right? All you get to do is hear about it and believe it, but this is just it. So, you got to, as a Christian, know this, that what he is saying to this little girl is the fullness of the gospel for you, that because you too have come near to Christ, have said, if only I can be near to his body, right, and his blood, take and eat, then I can be sure that I will have healing come into me now and on the last day, so that on the last day, coming back to this house, Jesus is going to take out his hand and reach down to you and say, dear little child, resurrect. And that's exactly what will happen, Jesus says, is what the world does. Yeah, pretty sweet stuff. All right, thanks for tuning in to Worldview Everlasting. I know it's a longer episode again. Oh my goodness, how can we preach the word for 15 whole minutes? What are we going to do? But if you like what we do here, if this is something you want to see more of and continue going on, $5 a month, Lutheran Ninja Clan, you know what it's about. And pretty soon here, we should be like getting out bumper stickers and stuff. Peter, is that something? I'm going to go really fast because I want to record more for later. So rock on.